Salvete omnes! After the last video, you had the opportunity to try to figure out the correct forms of first, second declension adjectives. So how did it go? All right. If you got all the forms correct, that's great. But if you were a little bit confused, that's fine too. We're going to go through the chart together right now. Now, the group of adjectives that we are learning right now are known as first, second declension adjectives. Now, that's a little bit of a clunky name, but the reason that they are referred to as first, second declension adjectives is because their endings mimic the endings of nouns in the first and second declension. So after last time's video, you were given two charts, one for the singular and one for the plural. Each chart included a space for all 5 cases in the masculine, feminine, and neuter. We also provided you with the nominative form for all 3 genders in both the singular and the plural. Great. So let's take a look first at the chart itself. The cases are listed in the same order as always: nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, and ablative. Similarly, the genders are always listed in the same order as well: masculine, then feminine in the middle, and finally neuter. All right, let's start with the masculine singular. The nominative that we provided you was us, us. What other set of endings that you know starts with an us in the nominative singular? That's right, of course, the masculine second declension noun endings. And the masculine adjective endings are just the same as the nouns: us, o, o. Great, let's look at the plural. The plural masculine nominative that we provided is I, just like the second declension noun endings. So the plural is orum, is, os, is. Moving on, the singular nominative feminine form that we provided is a. So what set of endings does that remind you of? That's right, the first declension. Remember, the nouns in the first declension are mostly, but not all, feminine. So the feminine adjective endings are a, and the plural would be I, arum, is, as, is. Finally, on to the neuter. Remember, the neuter second declension is the same as the second declension masculine, except that it follows the neuter rule. Nominative, accusative, exactly the same. In the plural, always an a. So the neuter adjective endings are o, o. And in the plural, a, orum, is, a, is. Great! So, despite the fact that Latin adjectives have a lot of endings, there are endings that you should be very familiar with. Learning the adjectives is also a great chance to review those noun endings. You probably have them memorized from the previous units, but it's always good to review them once in a while. And if you had trouble with them before, here's your chance to go over them another time. One last thing. Remember how there is a proper dictionary form for nouns and verbs? In order to write nouns in their proper dictionary form, you had to write the nominative, genitive, and gender. For verbs, you had to write the first 2 principal parts. For now. In Unit 4, you'll learn the 3rd and 4th principal parts, but be patient on that one for now. Anyway, we're not talking about nouns or verbs. We're talking about adjectives. Okay, so what's the proper dictionary form for adjectives? For first, second declension adjectives, in order to place them in dictionary form, you are going to write down the 3 singular nominative forms of the adjectives. In other words, in order to write the correct dictionary form, you have to write out the masculine singular nominative, the feminine singular nominative, and the neuter singular nominative. So if we take multus as our example, the correct dictionary form would be multus, multa, multum. For malus, the dictionary form would be malus, mala, malum. How about altus? That's right. Altus, alta, altum. Now, you might sometimes see the dictionary form abbreviated. In other words, instead of writing down multus, multa, multum, a dictionary might simply write multus-a-um. multus a And that's fine. But if you're abbreviating yourself, you'll always want to make sure that you aren't leaving out any important information. What do I mean by that? Well, we'll find out later. Alright, in the next video, we're going to talk a little bit more about adjective-noun agreement and work through some examples. For now, you can keep practicing with the adjective endings. Good luck, scholars!